than almost any team that we've ever had. And they had to overcome and persevere so much adversity through this season, and they've done it magnificently. And I'm so proud of this group for what they've been able to accomplish and going undefeated and winning the national championship.
Streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and the Tide 100.9 app. Here is your host of Off the Edge, Jacob Harrison.
Your man overthrown. Spit out the ball.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome into Off the Edge, Tide 100.9, your home for Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. I am Jacob Harrison. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. It's Thursday. It's game day. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys will be hashing it out on the gridiron in Canton, Ohio for the Hall of Fame game. Hey, I know it's preseason football, and I know it's the extra preseason game. It's football. There's real life football. We get to see Najee Harris on the field. We get to see Trayvon Diggs on the field, Isaiah Buggs, J.C. Hassenauer. Plenty of Alabama names will be on the field. We'll discuss some of that going through, preview some more of the Alabama Crimson Tide as they start their training camp this week. Tomorrow, in fact, today, the honor for Nick Saban and Terry Saban having 28th Avenue renamed to Nick's Kids Avenue there over in the T-News parking lot as well. It was fun to be there, fun to see the parade that happened. Unfortunately, we did not get great audio quality during the media session, but we will have a little bit of audio to play for you here in just a bit. Before we get into anything too deep, though, the show, as always, streams live on the Tide 109 app. You can download that on Apple and Android devices. Enjoy all the written and on-air content we have for you here at Tide109.com. You can also stream this show live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube every single day from 11 a.m. until noon. It's the best way to enjoy the show at Tide 109 on all platforms. And hey, if you're a student on your way in to the campus, I'm looking for an intern. I'm looking for somebody that can help me with the social media aspects, the video aspects. So if you're interested in that, my DMs are open at jharrisonote. Would love to see what some folks have as far as social media and video editing skills and help the show grow. And we'll see where things go from there. Plenty of opportunities here at Tide 100.9, as well as Tide 109 on its own is looking for interns as we get prepared to start the high school football season, start our coverage there. Great opportunities to be able to work on photography and video, covering high school sports in person, calling into the Friday Night Lights show that'll be hosted by myself and Kerry Clark as well. So you get experience on 1,000 different levels. If you're looking for an internship this fall, right here at Tide 109, that is a great opportunity for you. Just reach out to Joe Gaither, our brand manager on Tide, on Twitter at Joe Gaither6. And if you're looking for that other internship for this show, specifically video and social media, at jharrisonote on the Twitter account. So I'm excited to kind of dive in a little bit off of what we talked about yesterday with Tyler Martin. We went 30 minutes with Tyler Martin. I didn't have a lot of opportunity there to really kind of expand on the things that he had to say. But overall, I mean, wildly impressed by the information he gave us yesterday. And if you missed any of that conversation, it is on the podcast center at Tide109.com, as well as on Spotify, other places that you catch your podcast. It's available there. You can always rewatch the stream as well on YouTube and the social medias as well. But what I'm most interested in, and I know that we'll have media availability for us for the first time in a while. Hopefully, I'm fairly confident. I don't mean to presume, but I'm fairly confident I'll be representing Tide at practice tomorrow. But we'll work out all the kinks on that. I know that I'll be at some. But what I'm excited to see when I get there is, of course, the pass rushers, and of course Bryce Young, the quarterback, and of course my favorite position out there. But what I've been the most curious about is who's going to line up at right tackle, who's going to be the guy that helps in that regard and allows the Crimson Tide to get off to its best start. When you play Miami and when you play Florida early in the season, 2 games out of 3 to start the season, 2 very good programs from the Sunshine State, but also 2 programs that know how to breed pass rushers and know how to bring guys to the table that can wreak havoc in the backfield and cause some problems. Now, yes, the Miami Hurricanes had 3 players drafted off the edge into the NFL last year. Hell, one of them plays for the Steelers, Quincy Rose. But at the same time, they've brought other guys in and they've had the time to build other guys up. And traditionally, they're very good at that. Florida, on the other hand, poor defensive effort last year, but in year 2, you would expect them to get better as well. So overall, that's what I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how Javion Cohen fits in at left guard. I strongly agree with what Tyler Martin had to say yesterday. He says when you put him in between Chris Owens and Evan Neal on the left side of the line, that's your strength. So don't be surprised to see Bill O'Brien go to his left with the running game early and often this season. But in the same vein, I'll be curious to see how kind of some of the depth rotations work out, how some of the wide receiver rotations work out as well. So we'll get to see all of that as well. Y'all let me know when we get the audio from Nick Saban today. Is it ready now? Let's hear what Nick Saban had to say at the ceremonies today. Before the actual ceremony itself, where they do all the thank yous and all the proper stuff there. The media did have a chance to get a few questions in with Nick Saban. And of course, yesterday, the NCAA released its COVID-19 guidelines for the 2021 season. Of course, the Alabama Crimson Tide is around 90 to 95% vaccinated as far as its team goes. That being said, there is still the pressure and the worry due to the Delta variant and due to rising numbers here in the state of Alabama as to what the capacity will be for the Alabama Crimson Tide in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And head coach Nick Saban had quite a bit to say about that. Here's the best coach in college football at today's honorary ceremony for Nick's Kids Avenue.
We're going to use the same protocol for the next 6 weeks or so that we used last year, even though we have the majority of our players are vaccinated. We're still going to be very cautious and indoors and meetings and so forth on, trying not to have an issue with the COVID. We're hopeful that we'll be able to have full capacity in the stadium. I'm hopeful that more and more people will get vaccinated so they'll have the opportunity to do that, but that's everybody's personal choice. I know it means a lot to our players. And one of the things that all the guys that went out for the draft said last year, they hated it that this year was their last year playing for Alabama, and they didn't get a chance to play in front of our great fans who support and create a spirit that makes the place special. So I'm not concerned about it. I'm just hopeful that it works out. We're going to use the same protocol.
And I agree wholeheartedly there with Nick Saban. It's hard not to agree with Nick Saban, but it is everybody's personal decision, but you got to think of the consequences. It's the same as the freedom to free speech, right? You got the freedom to say whatever you want. You just don't have the freedom of the consequences that may be the repercussions behind whatever it is that you say. So you play the risk. You might not get the reward at the end. I'm very hopeful though. I mean, it's something that I've talked about for a long time, since the state opened up is, even though that first home game is against Mercer and we have 3 other home games against very cupcake opponents, it's still that air of excitement after last year, the stadium being practically empty. And now, we got a glimpse of it a little bit at A-Day. Stadium was probably about half full. And then we get into the season. I've talked to a lot of folks who are just excited to see fans in the stadium and to see the decibel level at BDS, rise and rise and rise and rise. Get the band back in the stadium. That was something Miss Terry touched on at the ceremony as well, is that she missed the band last year. The cheerleaders, everybody that was involved in that process of, fan interaction and bringing everybody together on that level. And I agree with that as well. All of these things that make college football what it is are the things that you want to see, the things that you are prepared to get back. You don't want to take it away in the blink of an eye. over something that's preventable. Now, Saban's right. It is a personal decision. Everybody should take their personal decisions very, very seriously. You know, it's just something to continue to monitor and to look at. Nobody wants, the college football season to be disrupted the way that it was last year. And it doesn't appear that that will be the case. These COVID-19 guidelines, I read much into it with, as I was writing the article for Tide109.com yesterday, that, this was supposed to be some sort of way to, encourage players and coaches to take the vaccine so that they didn't have to deal with as many nuisances. But I'll be honest with you, the way that I interpreted many of the the guidelines that the NCAA is putting onto these conferences, and the conferences will come out with their own, and everything is still subject to local and state laws, and those sorts of things will always override the NCAA. But I didn't see anything that was really incentivized as far as not having to deal with these nuisances. So indoors, all players still have to wear masks, and on travel, all players still have to wear masks, vaccinated or unvaccinated. Now, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to get tested once a week. But if you're unvaccinated, I mean, it's the same deal. Like, I don't feel like there's much incentive to push the players in that direction if that's the direction that they're trying to go. Of course, the wording was never even quite as dire as it was for the NFL in terms of trying to get players to be vaccinated. That being said, there's not going to be any room for teams that aren't ready to go. If you don't have your full squad of players to go, you're going to end up having to forfeit a game, and that's where you feel confident with the way that Nick Saban runs his program that those sorts of things aren't going to be a problem for Alabama. You're not going to have to worry about Alabama forfeiting games. You may have to worry about other games being forfeited against Alabama. And again, you just lean back on the fact that all of these things are preventable because the more players that are vaccinated, the less testing there is. The less testing there is, the more cause for, outbreaks that really don't have any substance behind them, which I know was a big concern last year. It was a big concern for the NC State Wolfpack at the World Series. It wasn't so much that everybody was sick. It was just that everybody had just so happened to test positive at the same time, and it threw everything off, and it didn't look right because the fans are packed into a stadium, but yet one of the teams on the field in a sport where everybody is like 10 feet away from everybody, can't participate on the field of play. So, we're just looking for the common sense. We're looking for the pathway to get to play college football in a reasonable manner. Tonight, of course, starting off with the Hall of Fame game, we'll kind of see how some of the new optics look, as it's the return of the Hall of Fame game. Last year it was canceled. The Steelers and the Cowboys were supposed to play last year. They just moved that game to this year. I'll be curious to see, just how many people show up to the Hall of Fame game. I know it doesn't have the most, luster to it when it comes down to it. And they played in a high school stadium, but at the same time, it's a good gauge to see kind of how we're moving forward. One of the first games in the NFL where, it's a neutral stadium and those sorts of things where we get to see fans in attendance. And then, of course, the inductees all throughout the weekend. And then with Friday starting off training camp for the Alabama Crimson Tide, there's plenty to be excited about, man. Football is back. No more weekends without football until deep into February, right? And that's the way we need it. That's the way we like it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Off the Edge continues right here on Tide 100.9, your home for Alabama Crimson Tide sports.
Alabama football countdown clock is driven by Crawford Insurance, Tuscaloosa's low-cost auto insurer. Call 752-6489 for a free quote today.
Roll Tide! Roll Tide!
There are 30 days until Alabama football.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1225. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1225. That's 800-777-1225 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225.
Hey, Sarah, how's business?
It's going well. Our clients love our work. I just wish that we could figure out how to grow faster.
I hear you. Is it slow for everybody in your industry right now?
Actually, no. I see competitors all over who seem to be very busy, even though I know my work is better than theirs. I just wish I knew how they were finding new customers, because if I could do it too, I know I could beat them.
I had the same challenge until I signed up for Town Square. Now my website is on page 1 of Google, and I'm getting leads every day.
Town Square? Was it expensive?
Not at all. Zero cost to build the site, no nickel and diming, and no contracts. Just a monthly subscription that I can cancel at any time. It's awesome.
Was it time consuming? Because I don't have time to.
It was easy and fast. I reached out to them at mylocalcustomers.com, and they did the rest.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis that will show you how the most successful businesses grow and how you can do it too with no risk. Be one of the first to sign up, and you'll receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky partially sunny today. Just a few isolated showers through the evening hours. The high today 89, tonight's low 72. Tomorrow and Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds with scattered showers and storms around. Highs between 86 and 89. I'm James Spain on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 83 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Follow Off the Edge on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for live streams and instant analysis. Off the Edge with Jacob Harrison continues.
We are back here on Off the Edge, Tide 100.9, your home for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Gearing up for the Hall of Fame game and gearing up for the start of Crimson Tide training camp in just a day. And ahead of that, Kool-Aid McKinstry has been given a National High School Award presented to him by the one and only Rob Gronkowski, as well as Hall of Famer Michael Strahan on Good Morning America. Here is Kool-Aid McKinstry accepting his award from Gronk.
Who would like to say hello and has a little surprise for you. Also, with an excellent nickname. I'm sure you'll recognize him for those who don't. Rob Gronkowski. Gronk is here with us. Gronk?
Kool-Aid, what's up, man? I just want to say congratulations. And also, I want to let you know that you have also won USA Today's Best Male Athlete of the Year award, too. So congratulations, man, bringing home 2 awards from the High School Sports Awards show. I just want to wish you luck at Alabama. I was just talking to O.J. Howard, a fellow tight end here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he wanted me to tell you, he says, what's up? He's a fellow Crimson Tide, just like yourself right now. So congratulations, man. How does it feel? You excited?
I'm very excited, man. I'm thankful to get on the award from you, and I'm thankful for you and tell OJ I said, hey, how you doing?
Gronk, you didn't know you were going to be like the go-between here. It's almost like a text chain. Give us some idea. This is, time you got to get to practice. Why did you want to present this award today?
Yes, well, myself and Michael Strahan, we actually hosted the High School Sports Awards show, which airs tonight, streams tonight. So I just wanted, to have the honor to congratulate Kool-Aid for, being the top male athlete out there in high school, and just congratulate him on all his hard work and dedication that, he has provided. And just to keep it going, man, just keep working hard, just keep doing what you need to do, listen to the coaches, go out there and just try to be a team player, every aspect on the football field, and you'll be successful, man. Just keep doing you.
Kool-Aid, I can't tell if you're in shock or if you're just very low key. What does it mean to you? Because we love Gronk around here. It's really good to see you, Rob Gronkowski. What does it mean to you, Kool-Aid, to have Rob present this to you?
It means a lot, man. I mean, I play with the Buccaneers on man. I use them a lot when I go trade formation on the corner route. So this means a lot to me.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. What are you most looking forward to as you head to Alabama? And then Gronk, Rob, what advice do you have for him as he goes out on the field? But you go first, Kool-Aid. Because you play basketball too.
What was your question?
Well, what are you looking forward to most as you get ready to play? Because I hear you play basketball too.
I'm just looking forward to helping the team and doing whatever I can do to help the team out. And on the basketball side, the same thing. I just want to do what I can do to help the team.
All right, Rob Gronkowski, before you go, could you just tell us about that Super Bowl ring?
Yes.
That thing was insane. I'd never seen
Yes.
anything like that. What was it like when you saw it for the first time?
I'm sure Gronk's ring is quite awesome, but nonetheless, I mean, big deal for Kool-Aid to be named the National High School Defensive Player of the Year, as well as the top high school male athlete of the year. And you got to think about that coming into the Alabama Crimson Tide and fighting for a roster spot. We saw glimpses of it in the A-Day game, where this is a guy that is going to contribute. He's going to find a way. I'll be surprised if he return kicks. We'll see what his role will be. Jalen Armour-Davis is not giving up the starting outside role opposite of Josh Jobe. So Kool-Aid is going to have to earn that away from JAD. But nonetheless, I mean, you still feel incredible about the depth that is on this defense. And it starts with a guy like Kool-Aid and what he brings to the program, and what, you think about all the great freshmen that do play for Alabama on a regular or that have played, excuse me, whether it was Malachi Moore or Will Anderson, or what Christian Harris had to do, and DJ Dale, what they had to do in place of injury. But now this team is kind of caught up because of the experience that those guys had to have, due to injuries and those sorts of things. And now they have a lot to bring to the table as well. And Kool-Aid, trying to find a place within the defense to make his presence known as well. Don't be surprised when he does inevitably do that as the Defensive Football Player of the Year and National High School Male Athlete of the Year. Let's jump out to the phone lines. Welcome Jeff into the show. Jeff, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys?
Going pretty good.
I know you're ready for football season. I just can't wait for that Hall of Fame game at Platypus football tonight. I just can't wait to watch it. So exciting. Can't wait to watch preseason football. I'm so excited for my life. Are you excited? Do you like preseason football?
I love preseason football, and I'm a big Steelers fan, so I watch all the Steelers preseason games from start to finish. So I'll be locked in the whole night tonight.
Okay, well, you're a rarity thing. I don't care nothing about preseason football. If just me, they wouldn't have a preseason. If you like college football, just start playing. We don't need no preseason games. You don't need to fool with it. Just practice somebody camp and be done with it. College football don't have a preseason. So pros don't need it either. They don't need 4 games. It's just more people gonna get hurt.
Well,
4 or 6 weeks. That's what's going to happen.
To a degree, I mean, college still has preseason games. They're just in the middle of the seasons when you play Mercer.
Well, I mean, I know. I'm just saying. No, they don't actually have a 3, 4 season starts. They don't have that stuff, and they just of course the SEC don't have 25 teams, so there won't be no time, no Mercer no more. They're gonna play 15 conference games. So
yeah,
make no difference. Of course, I know people in Alabama for the expansion. They want to see. I seen somebody on Twitter say everybody's going to be even Notre Dame. So I mean, I hate it myself. I'm a Kentucky fan, lived in Tennessee, and of course, I know we don't have the football program Alabama, Georgia, and Florida has, and we're just a go trying to get better. We've got some talent, but Mark Stoops is a decent coach. He's not that good. I know people in Alabama don't like him, so that's okay.
I like Mark Stoops.
I mean, it's all right. He don't win enough like Saban and does, but he is the second longest senior coach in the SEC outside of Saban. I don't know if you knew that. You know that?
If I'd have thought about it for a second, I think I probably could have put 2 and 2 together. But I like Mark Stoops. I like what he's done with Kentucky. I mean, you did a prediction for how I thought the SEC standings would look at the end of the year, and I had Kentucky as a 9-win team. I think they've got some goods out there. Biggest thing for them is if Joey Gatewood's a legit threat as a quarterback and can move the ball in the air, because that has been the one stagnant thing for under Mark Stoops. Is it's been difficult to find a quarterback that can consistently get it done in the air, which is what today's game needs.
Yeah, it's true that they do have a good offensive line running the ball, but they got Gatewood and that transfer from Penn State. I can't remember the other kid now. I can't remember the other kid now that's battled with the Gatewood with a job right now. But they got three guys. The guy from Penn State's going to be. He's already up there now, but he'll be up there in camp,
right,
battling. But no, it's just like it's like this. Kentucky will never be on the level that Alabama is in football, but Alabama will never be on the level Kentucky is in basketball. If there's somebody in Huntsville, Alabama, that thinks one day that Alabama basketball will surpass Kentucky basketball, but that'll never happen. Kentucky has a real arena, Rupp Arena, and Alabama's got that dump Coleman Coliseum. If they ever fix it, they'll never let Bryant Denny get that way, but they'll let their basketball arena be like a dump, and you know it, and I know it. So it's just as simple as that. But we're just going to keep working hard and chopping wood. And like the guy said in Huntsville, he said, we'll never win the SEC. If we do, hell freezes over. We win football. But hell might freeze over if y'all win the national championship in basketball. They would make the Final Four. But we're just going to keep working hard in football and chopping the wood. And Pursuit gets no respect from anybody in the league or outside Kentucky media. He gets no respect. But we just keep on winning and trying. And one day we're going to be in the SEC championship game. And we're going to be there one day in Atlanta. Hopefully it'll be my lifetime. I'll still be around to see it. And one day Saban's going to retire. He ain't going to be there forever. People don't live forever. I know you think they do, but they don't. And one day Saban's going to be gone. He'll be finding another coach like Mike Price, the guy that went to strip clubs and never coached a game in Alabama. So y'all hang in there. See if y'all can beat Miami first game of the year. We'll see y'all.
Man, Jeff in Kentucky. Incredible. Hey, I got respect for Kentucky. Like I told him, man, I got them as a 9-win team this year. But never say never. I mean, if a lot of people would look up to Jeff and say, hey, Kentucky will never be a threat in the SEC East, then and that's his response is, you never know. One day, Nick Saban will retire or Kirby Smart will retire and we'll have our opportunity then. You never know. Maybe Mark Stoops will figure it out. Don't sleep on Nate Oates in this basketball team neither, though. I mean, we got J.D. Davison coming in. We got Jelly coming back. Got Jaden Shackelford coming back. This is a team now. This is a team that can hunt. Can hunt. And you can't say that the Alabama basketball team never beat Kentucky. Last time I checked, they've got a couple of dubs over them over the past few years. Right. I enjoyed it, Jeff. Call back anytime, my guy. We'll take a break. We'll come back and bring Corey onto the show. Your phone calls, 205-342-9904. Let me know what you're most excited to see here at training camp as it gets fired up on Friday. I'm Jacob Harrison. We got Palmer McCall and Bryant Horn in the house producing the show. We'll be right back right after this.
Before the action begins, make sure your bets are in. Every hit.
This ball is crushed.
Every point.
Who are they giving to? Touchdown!
Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino revolutionizes the fan experience. On your phone, casino kiosk, at the Timeout Lounge. Don't just be a fan. Be a player. Be a winner. Get to Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. We're not just fans. We're here to play.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The JCPenney Mystery Sale is back. How much will you save? Shop Thursday through Sunday, and you could get an extra 30, 40, or even 50% off with in-store coupon giveaway. Save on brands like Arizona and Exertion. Plus, discover our new kids brand, Thereabouts. Styles designed with every kid in mind. Plus, shop extended store hours, smart shopping, and surprise savings. JCPenney. Offer valid 8/5 to 8/8. Giveaway in stores only. While supplies last. Must be 18 or older. Some exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
We aren't going anywhere. Off the Edge is available in the podcast center on Tide100.9.com.
We're back here on Off the Edge, Tide 100.9, your home for Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. I'm Jacob Harrison, got Bryant Horn, Palmer McCall hanging out with us, producing the show as well. Taking your phone calls, 205-342-9904. Yesterday we got to hear a lot from our guy Tyler Martin over at Bama Central and his thoughts on some of the upcoming battles there for the Crimson Tide in training camp. Excited to see where a lot of this falls. Excited to, get within the Malmore, practice facility and see some of it unfold for myself as well. First opportunity at that, but nonetheless, we'll have a lot of answers to our biggest questions given over the next few weeks as we prepare for the Alabama Crimson Tide to open up the season against the Miami Hurricanes. Let me know what you're excited about when it comes to the training camp this year and what we're hoping to learn about the Alabama Crimson Tide. 205-342-9904. Let's welcome Corey into the show. Corey, what's going on, man?
Hey Jacob, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing all right. It's been a hot morning following the parade, but overall it's doing pretty good.
Yeah, it is, man. I wonder how come Kool-Aid McKinstry hasn't signed with Kool-Aid yet.
Kool-Aid's got high asking dollars. I've heard from reliable sources. He has high aspirations. So maybe Kool-Aid reached out and Kool-Aid gave him a number that they thought was egregious. Maybe not. Maybe they haven't reached out at all. I don't know. But it seems like a match made in heaven.
Is Brian Horn there?
Yes.
Tell him that Justice Finkley is coming for Connor Harrell. He'll get a kick out of that.
Yeah, we'll see about that, man.
Hey, yesterday Tyler Martin gave me the lowdown on Justice Finkley, man. That's pass
He's
rusher.
good. I'll give him that.
I mean, he's on my radar. I'm hoping does Trustful come over to Tuscaloosa County this year at some point this year, Corey?
I think Tuscaloosa County goes to Trustful this year.
Dang, I could have swore T County went to Trustful last year.
I
Could have
think
swore.
they went there last year. Did T County last year?
Well, either way, hopefully I can find a way to put some eyes on Justice Finkley. I need to see a good.
If you have
pass
to
rusher
make a
this year.
road trip to go out there just because you're quote-unquote watching Justice.
Y'all are talking at the same time. Oh, slow down.
In
Corey, go ahead.
In all seriousness, Brian, I hope it's a competitive game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be, but Jacob, like I was saying, if you have to make a road trip out to Hewitt-Trustfield to watch Justice and to cover the Wildcats, then you definitely should because, Corey, I'll tell you what, y'all's stadium is one of
Did you say Wildcats?
Yeah, to T County.
Oh, okay.
Hewitt-Trustfield Stadium is one of the best high school stadiums I've ever been in, honestly.
Oh, I was talking about Trustful and Thompson. I was hoping that game's competitive.
Oh, yeah, I hope it will be competitive, too, but I hope Thompson beats y'all.
Oh, come on.
Man, high school football is just around the corner. It'll only be, I think, 2 Fridays from now, I think is when we'll start Friday Night Lights. I'm ripping and roaring. I'm ready to go.
I think the 20th is when most teams start. But, for fall camp, I'm just crossing my fingers we stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for every team. That is kind of overlooked a little bit is the ability to stay healthy. I mean, you look in the NFL right now, where camps have been underway for about a week and a half, and look at the Colts. Their quarterback goes down, their best offensive lineman goes down with the same exact weird foot injury. That's actually kind of rare. The injury itself, and then of course they have to deal with it twice. I mean, health is number one, but at the same time, you got to think about it this way. If last year, despite all the disruptions from COVID, Matt Ray and David Ballou were able to cut down the injuries, and keeping everything to soft tissue injuries and those sorts of things and manageable injuries, then imagine what they're doing now with a full offseason. I've got to feel even more confident that it's going to get even better, and not to mention the injury side of it, but they're making better athletes in the same process. I mean, the science that goes into what Dr. Ray and Matt Ballou and David Ballou do is astronomical and is wildly impressive, and it's a game changer for the Alabama Crimson Tide from start to bottom.
As far as the Pittsburgh game tonight, I know we weren't seeing Najee Harris do well, but do you think Mike Tomlin will work him hard tonight, or do you think
Not at all. He might play in the first series, maybe the second. He might get 2 or 3 carries tops. The Steelers need him too much to risk it. But and I wouldn't expect Minka Fitzpatrick to play at all. But on the Steelers side with the Alabama guys, they got Isaiah Buggs is fighting hard for a roster spot, so I think we'll see him very, very often throughout the game. And J.C. Hassenauer, the offensive line is pretty banged up despite already being pretty bad. So we might get to see a lot out of J.C. Hassenauer as well.
do you think the injury to Devontae Smith hurts him as far as trying to get a starting spot, as far as missing him now for the majority of training camp?
No, I don't think it does because Smitty, the situation up there in Philly is not very good receivers around him. And I still, with the way that Jalen Hurts is approaching his leadership role too, though, like earlier today in practice, he and Zach Ertz went off by themselves and did some red zone routes and those sorts of things. And he says that after practice, he meets with each of the wide receivers, sometimes individually, sometimes as a group, and they go over passing concepts and those sorts of things. They're constantly engaged on the mental side of things just as well as the physical side of things. And the two kind of, you would expect to have some sort of camaraderie together on the field already as it is, having played together here in Tuscaloosa. So it just kind of, it carries over on that side. It's just a matter of learning the offense, knowing where everybody's supposed to be. Because sometimes the mental battle can be half the battle for wide receivers, rookie wide receivers. It's usually what holds them back the most. A lot of people have this misconception that wide receiver is the easiest position to play in the NFL, and that is so far from the truth because of the mental aspects of it. You're already one of the best athletes in the world, so now you got to put the mental aspects into it. When do you cut your route short? When do you, can you recognize zone coverage and where to sit in those, how they flow and those sorts of things. And Smitty's got all that figured out. The only thing that concerns me about Smitty is how the Eagles use him. If they think that they can just line him up and let Trayvon Diggs or whoever the top corners are in the division just line up on him and manhandle him, and he's going to get off those press coverages, they're dead wrong. They've got to move him around. They've got to be creative in how they find ways to get him the ball early as he grows. I still think he's got more room to grow in his body, but I'm not worried about his size at all. But I'm not worried about his production value either. He's going to be a great receiver. Just give him time.
Let me ask you this, and this is the last thing I'll ask you. If you look at this Miami game, and I ask Gary this, which do you think is more likely to happen? Alabama does not score, either does or does not score 40 or more points. They do not allow 20 or less points, or they do not cover the spread. Which do you think is more likely to happen?
More likely to happen. They don't cover the spread, they don't allow 20 points, or they don't score 40 points. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
I think it's more likely that they don't allow 20 points. I think the terminology of the offense staying consistent and the skill sets that I see, I think we're all hesitant on Bryce Young for no reason. I think the explosiveness and the quality of athlete that he is going to be for the Alabama Crimson Tide is something that we have not seen at this program. Now, as far as being like, mechanically the best quarterback to ever be here, I don't know. We'll see about that. But the excitement level, the way that he plays the game is I think it's going to be much higher than even Jalen Hurts was. So I think we're still going to be an offense. I think I heard it this morning. For the past 3 seasons, I think Alabama has averaged 45 points per game. I don't see that going away at all because the offense, the way that it's structured, is designed to take advantage of the weaknesses that are inherited by defense because of the rules and the way that, the recruiting shapes up, and, Alabama's elite dominance over everybody else just in the roster management, those sorts of things. And defensively, it's not because I think the defense will struggle at all, whether it's, De'Aaron King or his legs or whatever, or because it's bad defense or Pete Golding or anything. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's just the fact that it's the same thing as Alabama's offense. There's too many benefits for the offensive side of the ball. The rules are skewed in their favor to such a degree that playmakers are already going to make plays. I said it 1,000 times during the Florida game. Kyle Pitts was going to score a touchdown. Kyle Pitts was going to have ridiculous yards. Kadarius Toney was going to break something big, and all those sorts of things happened, right? The rules are just skewed too much. But on the same side as that, Alabama covers the spread confidently. I mean, I know every now and then, against some scrub teams, it doesn't seem to always work out that way, but I always feel confident they can cover the spread.
And if you remember against Missouri, we didn't even score 40 points, and we should have. I think we either fumbled or punted or something, and we didn't. Actually,
took the starters out a little bit earlier than we did the rest of the season.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and I think Bryce Young fumbled or
he did
something. So, but that's not the point. But I'm saying that I think what will happen is I think we will go over 40 points. I think we could hold Miami under 20 points, and I do think we will cover the spread easily, which is what we all would love to see. Because even though Miami's not the old Miami or not a great Miami team, it would sure be a statement in a way of saying that Alabama is not a complacent team, and they haven't taken a step back. Would you agree?
I would agree. I mean, Miami wants it. They need it. Otherwise, it's going to be very similar to Texas after they lost to LSU. They felt like they were back, and then they tumbled right back down to earth. And I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen for the Hurricanes. Corey, man, we always appreciate it. Roll Tide, buddy.
Good talk to you, Jacob. Roll Tide.
Absolutely. Corey expects a big win over the Miami Hurricanes. I tend to agree on that front. We'll take a break, come back, close her down. We'll still take your phone calls, 205-342-9904. This is your home for Alabama Crimson Tide Sports, Tide 100.9.
The sale's on at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com. Stock up for school with 40 to 70% off almost everything and deals from $13. Find it all at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com through August 10th.
Good morning, Privates! Good morning, Drill Sergeant! I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping. You seem to be in a good mood today. Astute observation, Private. Astute.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone? Yes, Drill Sergeant!
Have a change of heart with Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Child Abuse Prevention Services of Tuscaloosa and community partners like you are improving the quality of life for our children. We are just days away from our 28th annual Nightlight Golf Tournament at Tall Pines on August 6th. It includes a 4-man scramble, other games, and a silent auction. Opening bidding at 32auctions.com/caps2021 is August 2nd at 8 a.m. Bid on items like autographed Alabama paraphernalia, hotel stays at Embassy Suites, designer watches, purses, and more. All bidding ends August 6th at 9:30 p.m. All proceeds help to prevent child abuse.
I can pop a beer in here, right? Your cousin from Boston. This here is Sam Adams Boston Lager. It's my go-to beer. Not too heavy, not too light. Oh boy. That's whoopsie daisy. Oh no. Is there somebody that can help? Come on in the room. It poured right in the keyboard. Relax. I spill beer on my computer all the time. Sam Adams Boston Lager. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Drink responsibly.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky partially sunny today. Just a few isolated showers through the evening hours. The high today 89, tonight's low 72. Tomorrow and Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds with scattered showers and storms around. Highs between 86 and 89. I'm James Spain on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 84 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
You're listening to Off the Edge on Tide 100.9.
Hey, good job, Greg Sankey. You brought Texas and Oklahoma into the SEC, and now you get a fat contract extension through 2026. Matt Zenitz was the first to report it, but you can read what details are available at tide109.com. It is worth noting, though, that no financial details have been available just yet, but I think the number was $2.9 million is what he has made annually over the past few years. So nonetheless, big congrats to Greg Sankey. I think I like Greg Sankey. Like, it's hard to find commissioners where you like actually like almost everything that they do, but I really like Greg Sankey. I think he does an incredible job for the SEC, and not only, you know, with the growing of the conference and bringing in Texas A&M and Missouri 10 years ago, and now bringing in, well, I mean, he didn't have anything to do with that, but those sorts of things, adding on, managing it well, and now bringing on Texas and Oklahoma, those sorts of things, giving the conference room to breathe and allowing the conference the ability to continue to be dominant even in the middle tiers, where those tiers don't exactly stack up with Alabama and Georgia and Florida and A&M on a regular basis. LSU, usually they're up there as well. But they're able to dominate outside of the conference. And you always feel confident when it comes down to the bowl games and those sorts of things that the SEC is always going to stack up. And that's just football. In every single sport, the SEC is right there at the top, constantly and consistently. Baseball, basketball, you name it, the SEC is right there. And it's mightily, mightily impressive. And sure, the Big Ten, the Big 12, the Pac-12, the ACC, they're always usually right there as well. But the SEC is the one bringing home, those championships on a regular basis. Sankey says he's grateful for the support of the SEC presidents, chancellors, for the continuing opportunity to serve the universities while supporting the student athletes of the SEC. Again, more information there at tide109.com. Bryant, who's winning the game tonight? Who's winning? Are you betting on the Hall of Fame game? Have you gone so low in your life that you're betting on the Hall of Fame game?
Jacob, I'm not a gambler.
You're not a gambler?
No, I like talking about it and I like pretending it, but the thoughts of losing money on a game that I can't control is mildly infuriating.
Do you have any idea the turmoil within my soul when Ole Miss lost to Auburn last year? Because I bet on the game. We were out at the casino there in Mississippi for the pre and post game shows, and inexcusable. Ole Miss was rolling, man. They had it all figured out. Their offense was doing great, and lo and behold, big fumble, big controversy. Auburn comes out with the dub. I'm excited to see how the season ends or kicks off. Here with the preseason. I'm always excited for football. I know everybody's not crazy about preseason, but it's football, especially after last year where, we didn't get preseason, and it was kind of odd, right? We didn't get that NFL experience to kind of give us a boost in the arm as we prepare, right? We didn't get that extra incentive to pay attention to our teams and those sorts of things. I'm big time excited. I know I'm a nerd when it comes to those sorts of things, but hey, somebody's got to be a nerd around here. Somebody's got to care about the little people in the sport, right? That's why I'm so excited about all the evolutions coming to college sports. What's up?
All right, so I don't even know if they have lines for these games. I would assume that they do, since they're
I think they do
official contest.
I think they do.
What are you putting the line at for this game?
God, what am I putting the line at?
6.5.
5.5. Is that fair? 5.5 Hall of.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Who's the favorite though? Is it Steelers? It's the Steelers.
Yeah,
It's the
I'd say
Cowboys.
Steelers.
I would say it's the Cowboys, but I don't know anything about their depth.
No. I don't know. I'm taking the Steelers. And if the line is like 5.5, I'm taking Steelers to cover because I'm predicting like them to win by like a touchdown.
Really? Big faith in Dwayne Haskins, my guy. He's gonna be the last quarterback in there.
No, it's not faith in Dwayne Haskins. It's no faith in Ben DiNucci.
The Steelers are the favorite by 1. -1. It's a shift because the Cowboys with the Steelers haven't been anywhere between a pick and a -2 favorite since the game opened. Yeah, Steelers favorites over the Cowboys -1.
Ben DiNucci.
No faith in Ben DiNucci, huh?
Absolutely not.
Shame.
Ooh, here's a
Shame,
good question.
shame.
Whose Hall of Fame and inductee speech are you most excited for
Oh,
watching?
my goodness.
That's something that we don't talk about nearly enough. I mean, mine's going to be Peyton Manning's. I love Peyton Manning.
I loved Peyton Manning when I was younger, man. I was a big Peyton Manning over Tom Brady guy for a long time. And then Super Bowl 51 happened, right? And Tom Brady comes back against the Falcons, and I looked at that and I said, man, that's the greatest of all time.
The Mannings are just so likable.
They are. They're fun guys, and you know, they look like a couple of goobers, but they're incredibly smart. You know, I'm big fans of the Mannings. Did you see that Tom Brady is going to be in attendance for Peyton Manning's Hall of Fame ceremony? Tom's just gotta be in the middle of everything, doesn't he?
God, he ruins everything.
He ruins everything. Super Bowls, Hall of Fame.
Did you see that stupid tweet the other day where it was on Tom Brady's birthday? I think he's turning 44.
Yes, 44.
And I saw so many tweets. It was a picture of Zach Wilson next to Tom Brady. And they're like, oh my God, Tom Brady looks like the same age as Zach Wilson. How many 22-year-olds do you know?
How many 22-year-olds look like an 8-year-old like Zach Wilson does?
That's true. And
Zach Wilson looks incredibly young.
It was funny, though, because the picture that they used is not Tom Brady in 2021 on his 44th birthday. The picture is like 4 or 5 years old.
Well, factually incorrect. But to actually answer your question, it will come down to Bill Cowher and Troy Polamalu easily. But man, that is hard. Because those two mean so much to my Steelers fandom. You know, the Bus is probably my favorite player of all time, but I mean, Troy was something special.
I want to see Megatron's speech too. I like.
Megatron. I don't think he'll talk very much. I think he'll definitely give a. He'll definitely throw some shade in the direction of the Detroit Lions, because he wanted out, man. He didn't want to play there, and I don't blame him. They didn't do anything for him. They didn't help him out. But I mean, this is a hell of a class from top to bottom, though. I mean, you're talking about Steve Atwater, Isaac Bruce, Steve Hutchinson, Edgerrin James, Troy Polamalu. That's just the 2020 class, and that's just the players. We'll get Jimmy Johnson in. We get Bill Cowher in. This is exciting, man. And I've heard some of Bill Cowher when he was on the Adam Schefter podcast a few months ago, and he was plugging his book and all those sorts of things. He's such a real life human. Like, I know he was like the chin. He had the personality. He was a guy that was known for being a guy that spits when he yells, and he's always yelling. But there's still, that humane side of him. Like he's gonna cry. He's one of those guys. He's gonna cry during his speech. And it's going to be very heartwarming for Steelers fans everywhere. 4 Pittsburgh Steelers going into the Hall of Fame. 4. Already have the most in NFL history. We're adding 4 more. Yeah. You got it. Absolutely. I'm a fan. But I'm a football fan first. I'd be watching this game start to finish no matter who was in it and whether a Steelers player wasn't going in or not. That's how I roll. That's all for Thursday. Tomorrow we'll come back and continue to break it down. We're one day away from Alabama Crimson Tide training camp, and it cannot get here soon enough. I'm Jacob Harrison. Big thanks to Palmer McCall and Bryant Horn. Jay Barker's show is up next from 12 to 2. Ryan Fowler from 2 to 6. Until then, we'll see you at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Roll Tide, everybody.